everyone, my name is Paul, and in this video I'm installing a new ignition switch and seat lock set in my Chinese scooter. I bought this scooter with 3 keys. The ignition switch works, but you have to wiggle it a lot to get it to turn. It's not very good. The seat compartment key does not match the ignition. You know your scooter is really good when you have duct tape holding it together. We'll need to take out 6 screws from the leg shield fairing. Use a normal size Phillips screwdriver. The upper chrome trim takes a big Phillips screwdriver. Let's unclip that. There are 2 more screws on each side holding the lower part of the fairing. Finally, use a big Phillips screwdriver to remove the 1 bolt in front. The ignition switch has a big 6-pin connector with 5 wires in it. Use a 10mm socket to remove the 2 bolts holding the switch onto the steering tube. The switch will come off along with this metal bracket. There are many different ignition switches for Chinese scooters. Pay attention to the mounting bolt location and how many terminals the wiring connector has. My old switch was missing the steering lock pin. On the new switch, the pin moves out in the locked position so you can't turn the handlebars. Scooter thieves will have to ride in circles. Install the new switch on the bracket. Now it's ready to go in the scooter. Tighten the bolts by hand and plug in the connector. And that part is done. For the next step, I need to get into the engine compartment. Use a Phillips screwdriver to remove both wires from the battery. My seat compartment has 4 bolts holding it in. Let's get the wires out of the way and remove the seat from the scooter. The seat lock cable hooks into the latch. Bend the tab and take the cable out. Remove the clip that holds the lock cylinder. Now I need to disconnect the cable from the lock cylinder and take it out of the scooter. This set came with 2 different seat locks. I'm using the one with the plastic end. Move the cable over to the new bracket and don't forget to put the dust seal on the lock cylinder. It keeps it from being loose on the body. Install the lock cylinder and turn it so the tabs line up. Connect the cable and rotate the bracket so it points to the back of the scooter. Remember to install the clip. Hook the end of the cable into the latch and bend the tab to hold it in place. Snap the cable into the bracket. When you turn the key, the cable pulls the release lever in the seat compartment latch. Feed the battery cables into the seat compartment and start all 4 bolts by hand. It's okay to turn the bolts with a drill, but be very careful. Chinese scooters use cheap bolts that strip easily. Do the final tightening by hand. Now just connect the battery terminals. Don't forget the smaller positive wire with the fuse on it. Let's test the new ignition switch. All the way left is the lock position. It's not very good, but at least whoever tries to steal my scooter won't be taking any right turns. Turn it on and test the turn signals. They work, and so does the horn. The run and start buttons are good too. And the kill switch also works. Let's put the front fairing back on. Install the front bolt first. 6 more screws hold it in from the back. If they don't all thread in, that's fine. You can always add duct tape. The chrome trim snaps into place next. It has 2 big Phillips head bolts holding it in. Finally, let's take care of the screws on the lower part of the fairings. Replacing the ignition switch and seat lock on this scooter was pretty easy, and now I have that handlebar lock that works, which will make it more difficult to steal this scooter. Although I'm not really sure why anybody would want to do that. Having a scooter like this is pretty horrible. And if any of you guys have the misfortune of owning one of these scooters, definitely be sure to check out my other scooter repair videos so I can help you with the many repairs that you'll need to do.